And welcome to the 11th unit of Block 4 IMC MMPM-007. Before we start today's class, it is good to mention that today is the National Broadcasting Day and we are talking about media. And we will be talking about media buying. How does IMC decide on the media buying or the media space allocation for various messages to be transferred to the target audience? Depending upon the current scenario, the environment, let us first see very briefly what this target audience state is. Like the current business environment has got cutthroat competition. That means everybody is yelling out for their product and a share in the market. So there is a share of the voice is being floated and there is a clutter of it. So how are actually customers receiving these messages? Now, if we look at the state of the consumers, what we see is they are spoiled by choice. Like I said, there's a clutter and then there are so many messages poured into the environment. The consumer has got so many choices. Now with so many choices, is it easy to have brand loyalty? Possibly not. Now again, the customer of late, the current generation is very fickle because of the multiple choices and not being able to stick to one such choice for a longer time. Now they've become fickle as well. Their interest has got a very short span. And also what we see is the attention span is also low. You cannot have long messages conveyed to these customers expecting them to comprehend the entire message, understand our intent and act accordingly. So with a scenario like this, there is a big fight for the space and the attention of the customer. And the ads need to be placed strategically in order to seize that attention of the customer. So the right time at the right to the right audience, if we can target and reach our message, possibly we will get the desired results. Now, this particular attempt to get the right audience's attention at the right time is the media buying intention and interest, and it is very essential for the media to understand how they would reach the maximum audience. Not just that, the message also to be conveyed in its right spirit. So media buying is basically a process of acquiring ad space, be it digital or be it offline, and convey the right message. And when we say this offline and digital, what are included in this? Let us have a look at that. TV is the first broadcast, first thing that comes to our mind when we talk about broadcast. And then we have the national TV, the regional TV and the local TV. Is our target audience available in front of the TV when we are conveying our message or playing our ad in order to reach that target customer and the customer's interest at the right time? Then we have radio. Radio again has got different time slots and all, and also like we have national, regional and local radio. Besides that, we have this AM and FM, and we have satellite radio and radio streaming. So since the channels are also so many and the audience gets divided, it is very essential to find the right time when our intended audience is available for the media and to play the message at that time. The third is our print media, which includes newspapers. Again, we have national, regional, and even vernacular newspapers. Then we have magazines, then we have publications. Again, when it comes to publication, it is national, regional, and local. The fourth is our out of home or outdoor advertisements or outdoor promotions. We have billboards, we have advertisements in the transit, then we have airports, we have stadiums, then we have these airports, repeated it, malls. All these places we come across those hoardings, those boards, those displays, those digital displays in all of these locations. Then we come to the social media, where we have several platforms like the Facebook, the Instagram, the YouTube, the Snapchat, and many more, like the LinkedIn and many more. Okay. The sixth, platform that we are talking about is the platform that is mobile. And when we say mobile, we are talking about the mobile search, the mobile engine, the search engine on the mobiles. Then we have our in the app. Like when you are working on an app, you come across some banners, some push channels, and many more which appear on your screen and sees that screen's time of yours and draw your attention and create that interest, isn't it? So we also come across geofencing. We have talked about geofencing earlier as well. Then we talk about, like, when you are in a certain location, how the ads from that location pop on your screen, right? Knowing that you are present in that area, like the food outlets pushing their their platters, their meals, their offers based on the time of the day, right? And then finally we have these digital platform, like the displays, the PPCs. Then we have these pre-rolled videos. We have the native and the digital audio as well, all being covered in this varied media. Okay. Now we use all these media, and the advertiser, when they use this media, they are always worried about reaching the right audience at the right time. So when we say media buying, who all are we talking about? We are talking about the advertiser. Let's take the example of Amul or Zomato, who is the advertiser, and they would be considering a certain agency which buys the media. So the media buying agency for the advertiser in order to utilize a certain media to reach the target audience. So advertiser, like we have taken example of Zomato, or say Amul, or anyone, Unilever, anybody we can talk about, and they use the media buying agencies who are aware of which media is right for the audience, and at what time would we get maximum reach to the audience. So Madison, Dentsu, Google, Group M are all various media agencies which actually take the media space of, say, Times Group, or say Star India, or Google ads, right? So these are the media vendors from whom the media buying agencies take time and they give it to these advertisers. So the advertiser gets a specific time on a certain platform to reach the messages. So in this, we are talking about media buying and media planning. Now, how are they different or how are they related? When we say media planning is the soul, media buying is the body, right? Now, what we actually intend here is the media planning basically deals with the strategic decisions uh, and the actions that need to be taken, focusing on what to be reached, what message to be reached to the audience, when it should be reached, uh, why it should be reached. So we have an objective, right? So we have the marketing has an objective. So is it awareness building or is it brand recall? What is it? So based on it, why are we actually conveying this message? And this is basically done by the media planners. So the media planners uh, take strategic decisions and actions on deciding what, when, where, and why to be communicated, and create basically a blueprint for this entire campaign. Media buying, on the other hand, executes this plan and they take the tactical decisions and actions. They are the ones who will execute it. Now, they focus on how is it to be delivered to the right, how to buy the right media in order to reach this message planned by the marketer. So they are actually, this buying is done usually by the agencies. Like I said before, advertiser gets the space on the media vendors' platform through media buying done by the media agencies, right? So while the media planners design the message to be conveyed to the target audience, media buying actually buys that space and time to convey, execute the plan. So they need to work in sync. It is not like one is a part of the other, but they need to work in sync because they need to understand the objective and the expectation. So let us look at media planning and buying parallel. So what is the first step in media planning? Obviously, it is the objective, marketing objective setting. The marketing objective can be the creation of awareness or like lead generation. And once the leads are generated, then we market the product to these people and try for conversions. The conversions can be done both online and offline. And the marketing objective can also be brand recall and strengthen the relationship with the customer so that the customer remains brand loyal and we get that repeated purchase and revenue is generated. So to this, matching to this first step of the planners, the media buyers actually try to understand the media brief. What is it that these advertisers are trying to communicate? So the media brief that comes from the client or the advertiser or the media planner, if the advertiser has engaged a media planner. So they communicate the media brief, which will include which will include the objective, it will include the budget, the target, and also the target audience, and also the timeline when the product needs to, when the message needs to be conveyed. Let us take an example like HUL when it plans to launch a new product, say suppose a skincare product, and it is targeting to women, young women in the age group of 20 to 35, and they are urban women and they have a budget of say 1 crore, and this must be a campaign which has to be launched say suppose in the month of August. Okay, so this is the the media buying's first step to understand the media brief. And the media brief has got an intention, that is creating awareness in this case, because HUL is trying to launch a product and wants maximum people to be aware of this new product. The second step obviously is the target audience. Well, in the example I have already defined, they are young urban women in the age group of 20 to 35. So while the media planners decide on who the target audience is, the demographics and the behavioral psychographics, the media buying at this moment tries to understand using certain tools like the BARC, B-A-R-C, the BARC, Broadcast Audiences Research Council, or the Google Analytics reports to identify the audience's platform. That means which platform are they available most. So when they understand where this target audience is available, then based on it, they can plan which platform to be engaged in order to reach this target customer. So say suppose Nykaa finds that 70% of their audience, that is their consumers of beauty products, they are on Instagram and YouTube most of the time. So, well, the target audience, where is it reachable? We have understood. So we can tap these two areas, particularly the social media, and convey the message. The third step in media planning is the media mix. How much of each of these platforms need to be engaged? This is based on the audience's habits. What time of the day are you finding your target audience hooked on to these channels? The budget constraints, like if the advertiser has got a limited budget, can he actually reach these media? We will soon understand like how to interpret and decide on which platform to go. But right now, let us look at the media planner's perspective, where they are trying to understand the audience's habits, the budget constraints, and the ad format compatibility. If we are targeting, say, retired people and people from the age group, from the 60s, born in the 60s, possibly they may not be as comfortable with the digital media. They would be more, they would be spending more time in front of a TV or a radio or a newspaper. So we now have to understand the media mix. So at this point, what exactly is the media buying doing? Now the media buying is trying to evaluate the media options. Again, like based on the age group and all, we know like where they would be found most of the time. But if we try to understand the advantages of each of these media, like if we talk about TV, there is a wide reach, and you have a mass impact. But the disadvantage is it is very expensive. Okay, and if your product is for the youth, possibly this is not the right channel or platform, because you don't find the youth watching TV as much as the previous generations, right? So the next will be print. There is high credibility and trust when it comes to print advertising, but the problem is current generation. We are trying to understand the changing paradigms, isn't it? So the current generation is interest in reading is declining. So print may not be the right media if our target audience is the youth. Outdoor advertisements and outdoor IMC programs, or say like out of home, their highest advantage is, the best advantage is there is high visibility, but then you do not know who is actually watching. So we are not sure about the target. Okay, so it is very difficult to target. Not just that, it is also difficult to track who has watched and who has taken a favorable action, like someone has watched the hoarding and gone for a purchase. We really cannot know that the buyer has actually received the information or gathered the information from the outdoor campaign or the hoarding or billboard. Okay. The fourth media we are talking about is the digital media. Well, you can hit the target audience and also measure at the least possible time whether it has been effective or not. But then here what we see is there are certain challenges, like there are ad fraud, then there is fragmentation, and also we come across this hidden or poor ad, or the visibility, the what we call this, the viewability problems, right? I'll talk about this a little later, but at this moment, since we are talking about the third stage of the media planners, which is the media mix and the choices of the media, and the buyer actually evaluates the media options, right? So while the media planner is looking at the media mix that is available, the media buyers are evaluating on what would be the right media. We then move on to the fourth step. The media planners are actually working on the timing and scheduling. Should they go for a message consistently reach to their target audience over a long period of time, that is, the advertisements appear frequently at a regular interval or in a consistent manner to the target audience, which the media calls as continuity, or should they increase the frequency to reach the message at certain times, which we call pulsing. So it is not constant. Sometimes it increases or sometimes it decreases. So that is pulsing based on a season or something. Or the advertiser or the media planner may not go for the advertisements consistently throughout the year and the life cycle of the product, but they may go for high advertising or high promotion or high communication at times or in seasons. So this we call as flighting. Okay, so the ad runs peak in the peak season only. Okay, and rest of the time it is not used. Okay, so that's called flighting. Now, when the planners are opting either continuous, communication, or they're going for pulsing or flighting, the media buyers now have to go for a judicious strategy and negotiate the time and to optimize the ad budget and its performance. Okay, so they would book an inventory via the direct buy or programmatic. Programmatic platforms like Google Ads and all, they, in a way, we can say they customize the message based on the target's interest. Say a media buyer has to negotiate with Hotstar for IPL ad slots and uses FB ads manager in order to go for the digital targeting. Like a person may have initiated to gather information, or we can take an example like if the person has put some of the items in the basket and left the app, it didn't complete the buy. So in such cases, whenever a person who has not executed the sale or closed the sale, and the items are still in the basket, if you open the app a little later, the first message that comes is like you may get an offer, saying that now you can avail an additional 7% if you take the action immediately within the next 2 hours. Okay, so you are getting an additional 7% off on the items that you have left in the basket and not closed the sale, and you would get this 7% off only for the next 2 hours, and the counter begins. Right. So this is the programmatic platform or the programmatic buy that you are doing. The next step the media planner goes is the budget allocation. Like they would decide upon how much to spend across the media, and should they use the top-down approach budgeting or the bottom-up approach budgeting. Now, whatever the media buyers actually at this point, having got the fixed budget, will upload the creatives, and then they have to plan how frequently these communication messages be played so that the target audience gets that exposure. So the media buyers at this point decide on the schedules and launches across various media. Followed by this, the media planners have to make up the KPI and the measurement plan, since on the other side it is being launched. So now they have to see the how these platforms are performing. Are they able to generate that leads? Are they able to convert the sale? Right. So there are several such KPI measurement indicators we can see, like the how do we measure this, depending on the app downloads, depending upon the orders placed, depending upon like the awareness created, or say the actual conversions or sales, or the impressions, like people may like the ad, may share the ad. So the impressions, or having seen the advertisement in any of these media, people have gone for a purchase. So in the feedback, they may mention that how did you get to know about this? So they may say the advertisement they have seen either in print media or say TV or any other broadcast or digital communication. Possibly it would be like the purchase, the store visit to gather more information, and a future plan to buy. Or it can be like having seen this communication, people have opened the website and gathered more information. Or it can be the number of sign-ups, or finally like how many video views are actually gathered by this communication. So the budget, like how much to spend to reach the right audience, and the audiences identified is what the media buyer is now interested in. So they may go for a direct way of purchasing, like they buy the spots directly with a specific channel or a publisher or a media a group, or they may go through a network like the tech platform, the servers, and other networks, right? They can go that way. Or programmatic buying, like which already mentioned, it talks about the inventory rate equals to the CPM, and CPM is calculated by the ad spends divided by the number of impressions multiplied by 1,000 gives us the cost per mille. When we know like this much is the exposure and what ROI did this generate, we understand whether, we understand that we have tapped the right platform to reach this target audience. So at this stage, the media buying team would be monitoring and optimizing on the media used, and will get to know by tracking the impressions, the clicks, the conversions. They get to know how effective it has been. Based on it, they would be adjusting the further schedules, and if it is underperforming, maybe they would remove some of these communication and save the advertisers cost. Okay, so the media buyers actually manage the budget based on the impressions created. Okay, and finally the last step, that is the media flow chart, which is usually a Gantt chart type of representation, where the communication or where the messages need to be floated or reach to the target audience, and will there be multiple platforms utilized at a certain point of time. So a Gantt chart kind of a calendar will be prepared in order to get an idea of what's going on at a particular moment, and how would these ads be run and reach the target audience. The media buying team at this moment will be working on reporting and billing, checking on the they would be submitting the post-campaign reports, and may analyze the performance of the KPI, the indicators, they go for the CPM, they go for the reach, they go for the ROI, to understand what worked best and what requires an improvement in the upcoming campaigns. And also the media buyer at this point, having completed the campaign, or the campaign coming to an the planning has totally been executed and the campaign keeps running, will go for processing the vendor payments and close the media invoices. Okay. A moment ago, I was talking about evaluating the media options, where I mentioned the digital media, while having the advantage of reaching the target audience more effectively, and the advantage of using this digital media as it can be measured pretty well, but it faces certain challenges like the ad frauds, then the fragmentation and other issues. So let us try to understand what exactly the ad fraud is. Ad fraud is a deliberate manipulation of the digital advertising delivery to generate false impressions or clicks, or say conversions. Now this would actually waste the ad budget because it is not giving you the actual results. That is why it is a manipulation done by fraudsters. So what kind of acts do they conduct in order to give those false impressions to the advertisers and the media planners? So one such fraud we call the click fraud. Either humans or bots are paid to repeatedly click on the ads and increase this numbers, indicating that the target audience has received the message. But actually this doesn't happen. So we can take the example, an e-commerce ad gets 10,000 clicks, but the 70% of these are done by bots. So what's the point? You will actually not get the return on investment. You're not going to have those actual revenue generation happening. So it's a false hype created that this many views are there, but actually that do not give you the results. There can also be like click fraud, we have impression fraud happening, which is actually fake views are generated by, again, humans or bots, indicating that the fake views are generated by loading ads in hidden media, or the ads are invisible actually. Now we can take the example of a banner ad shows that there are 1 lakh views, but these banner ads were in a background tab. So what happened? The ad appeared, but that has appeared in a background tab. The real target has never come across the ad, so it doesn't have its effect. So people actually haven't seen it. But then the digital media is such, fake views are generated. Okay. The third one is called the domain spoofing. What happens here is fraudsters mimic like a premium website to trick the advertiser. So advertisers think that this is the original website, and they play their advertisements on this website, but actually it isn't the right website. So it's a fake website where the ad is playing. You think you are actually buying ad space, but then you must have thought that you are buying an ad space on timesofindia.com, but actually it's a clone site with the same name and style and image. And even if you see that it is, yes, our advertisement is being played on this website, you will not be getting the results because that website itself is fake. So that's what we call the domain spoofing, and this has been in the run of late. And then we have another called the install fraud. Now fake app installs are being made, and then these installs are incentivized, but then they are not the real users. Say suppose a fintech app pays ₹50 per installation, but fraudsters create fake installs using bots. Okay. So some dummy name and all with dummy details, they install the app while they get paid ₹50 per installation. These installations are all dummy; they don't work further. Okay, how do you come out of such a challenging situation? Mode or IAS, integrated ad services, or say double verify. Now these firms ensure that they run these anti-fraud tools and save the advertiser from being a victim of such fraudsters. India ranks very high on this bot traffic with so many fraudsters. Creating this kind of a ad fraud. Okay. The second challenge that the digital media faces is the viewability issues. Now, what happens is again, like ad fraud, we see the ad actually not reaching the target audience. Viewability issues are also similar. They refer whether an ad was actually viewed by the target audience or not, and is seen by humans or not. So possibly it is a bot which clicks and appears to be seeing the ad, but not the right audience. An ad that is loaded but never appears on the user screen is actually what we are talking about, the viewability issue, and the ad is actually non-viewable. Okay, so how does it actually appear in reality? Now, before I tell you what exactly happens, let us look at the Indian scenario at this point. A display ad is viewable if 50% of the pixels are visible for at least 1 second. Okay. Similarly, if it is a video ad, 50% of the pixels should be visible for 2 continuous seconds. Then it would be considered as viewable, right? So that's the Indian standard we are talking about. Now, what exactly is happening in this kind of a scam or say fraud, like the visibility issues? Let us understand the common viewability problems. The first one is termed as below the fold placement. Now, what happens is when you open the website, the target audience cannot view it. You know why? Because the ad appears only after scrolling. When you scroll down, then only the ad will appear. So the ad is there, but then the target audience hasn't noticed it. Unless you scroll down. Now what happens is, if you leave the website without scrolling down, well, the attempt to reach you is wasted. Okay, so the actual problem is the user without scrolling down has left the website or exited the website, so the viewability has failed. Then we have another viewability issue, that is the ad clutter. On the same page, there are so many ads appearing, so the viewer's attention may not be held by that particular advertisement. There's a clutter. People may not go through everything that appears on the screen, right? So there wasn't any actual user engagement. Even if the ad is playing, say imagine on this screen in the top right corner there is an ad playing. Well, you will notice, because except for me on the screen, the only other thing you might see besides the logo and all, you might see is that ad. It is clear, you can see. But what if there are around 9 to 10 such small windows, and each one is playing its own message? Can you really focus on all of them one after other? No. So ad clutter, like having too many ads played on the screen at a particular moment, is this second viewability failure issue. The third will be autoplay in the background. Sometimes you must have come across this situation and you can relate to it. When you have opened a particular screen, the web page, whatever it shows, while you see only text or certain images, you sometimes hear a background track playing, maybe instrumental or maybe a conversation happening, but you do not see anything on the screen which is related to this. So what's happening? There's a background video play or an audio play happening. So you are not actually seeing that. So that video play is hidden, right? So again, there is no user engagement happening. Okay. And there's one more such viewability issue, which is called the fake traffic bots, which loads pages. The fake traffic bots load the pages to create impressions, but there isn't the right engagement and viewership. So advertisers pays for the views, which has actually not happened. So it's a bot which is opening the page again and again, but there is no objective met. Like it has not created the awareness. While the impression is the page is opened a million times, right? So, well, why does this happen? This happens because, particularly in India, we look for cheaper alternatives. So, when we look for a low-cost inventory, in the sense like the message being reached to the customer at a certain frequency, at a very low cost, well, obviously anything which comes at such a low cost will not have quality, right? So the local publishers may inflate the viewability metrics and suggest that they are the right platform, and when you opt for this platform, actually your objective is not being met. So what is the solution? You need to prefer transparent publishers who would be actually not faking, not using any manipulative ways to reach your message to the right audience. So you can use tools like the Google Active View or MOAT, M-O-A-T, or say ComScore to track the real-time viewability, and then decide whether that's the right platform to convey your message, to plan your IMC campaigns. The third one we talked about after ad fraud and viewability issues is the fragmented audience. Now, the fragmented audience occurs when consumers are spread across many different platforms, channels, and content types, making it harder for the advertiser to reach everyone. So the target audience, though you can identify who they are, these people are divided across the several available platforms. So it is very hard for the advertiser to reach everyone effectively with one message. Sorry. Why does this actually happen? I mean, why do we have fragmented audience? Basically because the umpteen number of OTT platforms available. So the target audience is divided. So we are really not sure, even though the entire target audience is in front of the screen, but they may not be on that platform where the advertiser is communicating the message. Okay. Also, we have multiple social media platforms. Your audience is the Gen X, you know, but then they are divided again. Some, a few numbers in the Facebook, some are on Share Chat, some are on Moz, and some are on LinkedIn, or some are on Insta. So there's a fragmented audience, and the interests also vary. So it is very difficult to have a synchronization of your message and reach this audience with the right spirit. Also, we see there is a lot of vernacular consumption or local or regional language consumption more. Earlier, we had only one national channel and a few hours of the regional Doordarshan happening. So if it is Doordarshan, we had it either in Hindi or a few hours of the local language broadcast. But today, we can watch any language because of the OTT. Even if a Bengali guy is down in the peninsular India, somewhere in Kerala, he can still watch his Bengali content and not be confined to the regional Malayalam content, right? So, and then we have these users these days switching between the various platforms. On any fine day, you may find yourself sitting in front of a TV with your phone on, and you are actively engaged with your friends or social groups on Facebook, simultaneously messaging on WhatsApp, and you have your desktop on, where you are connecting some colleagues on a LinkedIn platform, right? And now and then you are switching over to check the local newspaper. So there are 4 platforms you are simultaneously engaged in, 4 channels and multiple platforms you are simultaneously engaged in. So your attention, though you are a target audience, your attention is divided. So it's very difficult for the advertiser to reach and have your attention fully focused on the message. So these challenges like overlapping audiences. Well, overlapping audiences is a big challenge to the media buying because of the wasted frequency. Okay, you are repeating those ads on a certain platform, yet you are not able to get the target audience's attention, right? Message dilution. Since you find your target audience on several platforms, you may think of considering multiple platforms. Okay, but in the process, you may not be consistent with the message. So, such inconsistent brand message, causes this fragmented media. Okay, and the third is difficult targeting. Like it is very hard to segment and personalize. For such diverse users to reach your message. Okay. Well, in India, the young urban consumer watches Netflix, uses Spotify, follows Insta influencers, and reads blogs all simultaneously, right? And each platform actually needs a different media strategy. Now, that is the big challenge. Again, a rural user may consume regional YouTube content and read the local influencers messages. I mean, follow the local influencer messages, and also may prefer a vernacular newspaper. So you would not get a chance to communicate with a person, even if the person may be a very prospective user of your product or service. So what's the solution then? You must be having a, omni-channel media strategy. So multiple channel media strategy, and you need to rely on the customer data platforms, or say the data management platforms, in order to have the right strategy built, and every penny you spend for the message or your IMC campaigns will result in the right return on investment, right? So for a unified audience insight, the CDP and the DMP will help you plan out the right media. And you use cross-platform tracking tools to manage the reach and avoid any kind of a duplication, right? So these are some solutions that you can hope to work on. Now, we do not have enough time, but yet let me just complete this. Possibly, let me complete in one line. If we look at the media buying trends, well, particularly in Indian context, what we see is the digital ad spends now exceed the TV or broadcast spends in the urban India, right? This is one change that we come across. The other is the regional language targeting is actually growing via, say, share chats or Moz or daily hunt. Daily hunt, is that the one? Okay, yeah, daily hunt. So the regional language targeting is actually growing through these platforms. We also come across the influencer-led buys are these days becoming the mainstream for direct-to-customer and lifestyle brands. So you need to decide like which would be the right media to reach them. Finally, what we see is we see a significant rise of the programmatic advertising and self-serve platforms. So this is also, having an impact on your media decisions and strategy. Well, if I had a little more time, possibly I would have covered a few more aspects, but they are neatly presented in your study material. Do check on it. Thank you.